have this wild wall over here of amps and pedals, and it's so admirably routed. I mean, gosh.
Again, it's that OCD side of me, I guess.
Can we start with just the amps?
Yep, sure.
I'm not an amp guy, but break it down.
The simple breakdown is I kind of don't mess with the settings on the amplifiers. So I have them set pretty much for the tones I use them for.
Oh, nice.
And
Love
it's
that.
about workflow. So I have them all routed up to a switcher. There's power for every single one of them here. The power number, like amp 1 is the PT100. It corresponds. The power's 1. It's 1 on the switcher.
Oh, cool.
2 is the SL68. Power's on the 2. Number 2 on the switcher.
Love that.
So, and then the cabinet's a little different, but 1 is the aux. 2 is SIR reactive load number 1, which is set for 100 watt amp level.
Okay.
Okay. 3 would be the next one down, which is set for the smaller amps, so I don't have to change stuff.
Yeah.
And then 7 is the Bella speaker, 8's that cab. 4 is the reactive load IR below it, which I use the least just because I'm either using the aux or I'm using the SIR reactive loads and then using an impulse response in the computer. It's just a little, it's a patch bay up there. Everything's wired in, and that way I don't have to mess with anything. And then the pedal board, I got the cable right there to go into the front. If I want to use the pedal board with the amps, this is where the output of the pedal board comes. I just do this, and now, as you can hear the hum, the pedal board's into the amp. So, and the only caveat to that is the pedal board is wired up for cable, so I have a few things that are out into a loop. They go into the Bella loop, and I only use those wet effects when I'm using the Bella.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. My old live rig was that pedal board and either the Badger 30 or the Bella, and so I just kind of brought that into the studio and use it there because I used that pedal board for lots of years.
All right, so you've got the amps basically set up for exactly how you would use them. So you're almost flipping through. This is how I make sense of it in my brain. If I had if I'm 13 years old and I have my Line 6 pod and I'm just flipping through the presets.
Yep.
You have that, but with the real deal amps to the right cabs at the right settings.
That's basically it. I mean, there's certain things like the Rev, which I'm borrowing from a friend, another Sean Tubbs again. Borrowing that from him because I'm doing some other stuff and I wanted to check out, to have a different tone on tap. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, that's it. I love the Helix. It doesn't get as much love.
Oh, yeah.
I use it for ambient stuff. If I'm doing stereo stuff, I use it for that a lot because that's what it's really great. You can automate stuff, a lot of stuff on one foot swipe of the controller, the expression pedal. And I've used it live a lot when it's an in-ear situation and there's no stage cabinets, clean stage.
Yeah.
I've used that before and it's worked out really well, but I do love real amps.
You have this aux box here. That's what this is doing?
Yep, the iPad's controlling the aux. So, you have different rigs that show up. So you can switch them from the front panel here, so you can see them changing on the aux. Or you can change them in the aux, but those are like the ones that I have. I have a couple presets in there, and I just use those for the most part most of the time. Like there's a little 212. There's a 1x10 tiny combo if I want like a small amp cabinet sound. If I'm using like the Morgan, the Vox, if I want, a small cabinet sound, there's the Vox cab for that amp. So yeah, it just makes things quick, makes it repeatable, keeps my workflow moving.
Yeah, and recallable. Which in TV land sometimes can be really important. So it works out good for that.